I know, but this is so much personal. It's like,
Still have to use this. Okay. Hey everyone, it's great to see your faces right here up close and personal. Loving it. My name's Maggie Hamilton. I'm from upstate New York in the US. I'm one of the youth leaders from Act4Food, Act4Change, who will be walking you through this really fun and interactive workshop today. We're going to start with an icebreaker, but first I'll let Aziz introduce himself.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Aziz Salau from Nigeria. Hi, I'm one of the youth leaders for the Act4Food, Act4Change campaign in Nigeria. So it's really good to have you guys here, and I will look forward to an exciting session. Thank you.
Okay, sweet. So to get us started, we figured whoever wants to share, you can tell us your name, where you're from, and a really special food item that you love to enjoy or some sort of cultural celebration from where you're from. Does anyone want to start?
Hi, I'm French, Chris, so I will stand for the classic French baguette.
So good.
Hi, my name is Dana. I'm from the US. I'm from New York. So I would like to say pizza, but being in Italy, I don't know if we can compete. So I'll go with bagels are amazing from New York.
Hi everyone, I am Marcello, I'm from Italy, and I would say pizza or pasta. Let's say kind of obvious, but yeah.
Hi everyone. I'm Adam Mullins. I'm from Ireland, and I'm gonna totally just run into the stereotype and say potatoes, specifically mashed potatoes, though, because they are the best. Load of butter, load of milk. It's just beautiful.
Hi everyone, my name is Bertha. I'm originally from Zambia, but I'm coming from Ireland at the moment. And I would say mashed potato as well. I think it was kind of coping for me, but I really love a good mashed potato. Yep. Thank you.
I'll keep the Irish going. Hi, I'm Trasa. I'm also part of the Irish delegation. And I'm going to say bread. I'm going to change the stereotype and say that bread is probably one of my favorites. Homemade.
What kind of bread?
Homemade brown bread. The Irish brown bread, you can't beat it. Soda bread. Yeah. Also kind of living to the stereotype, but yeah.
Okay, sweet. So first, I would just like to acknowledge the fact that we're in the Iran room right now, and there's a lot of really crazy but important things happening in Iran right now. To be here in this session as part of how we're going to start the whole entire youth revolution towards the food system, it's really exciting. And we just like really are thinking about the people who are in the streets protesting in Iran. And wish that like we could have the same spirit going forward in the food revolution that they're having in fighting for women to be able to decide what makes them feel really empowering and not have that imposed upon them. So I think it's pretty cool that we're in that room right now with what's happening there. So first I'll do like a little overview of what we're going to do today in the workshop, and then I can kind of explain Act4Food, Act4Change in more depth for those who maybe are not as familiar with it. So we're going to do a workshop today where we're going to give out actions that are part of our campaign. They're all pertaining to the food system and how we can sort of radicalize and transform it for more sustainable, just, and environmentally sound efforts going forward. So it'd be really fun. You'll be able to take which one that you feel most closely tied to with a group of people, kind of identify the problems with the action that we're going for, and then also find the solutions for it. in a sort of innovative, creative way that only we have as young people. But first, I'll do a sort of overview of Act4Food, Act for Change. So it's a completely youth led global initiative and campaign pushing for sustainable food systems transformation. And this happens in a bunch of ways, like very multifaceted, top down, bottom up sort of situation. It happens in many ways, depending on where we're located and what we're up to. So there's a group of us that are youth leaders from around the globe. There are, I think, a little over 25 of us right now. And we all do very different things in our local context and are very informed by the places that we live and the issues that are current and contemporary to, for me, the US, for Aziz, Nigeria, and they look very different. But then we also all come together as a group to share and exchange what's happening in our home countries, but also we're shooting for as a whole entire globe of youth. And so it's a really fun like tandem process of like pushing for this global action while also being very connected to our communities and our countries where we can see the things play out. We can engage with local stakeholders and go about it in a way that is both rooted in the ground, but also has this higher level discussion happening around the world. So like for me in the US, my focus is much different than it is for some of like our peers in different places. And that's a really great part about it is we share our perspectives and they inform one another because what I'm focused on the US looks very different than in Nigeria. But we need to know what each other are up to proceed forward in a really positive way. So
Yeah, so I think the interesting thing is that for the fact that we're actually from different countries and we're able to align our thoughts together to achieve a common purpose. Like, for example, I'm from Nigeria, she's from US, and this thing started last year during the UN Food Systems Summit engagement. And we're actually doing a lot of things virtually, and we're actually getting a lot of things done because we're actually young, we're energetic, and we are willing to actually, pull all young people worldwide to see how we can actually collectively add or add our thoughts and our activities around transforming food systems. For example, what we do in Nigeria is to see how we can actually get young people included in different policy implementation, starting from the process to the implementation stage, because the challenges we've been facing as young people is that the policymakers and our leaders see us as beneficiary of all these interventions, and we are saying no. There's need for us to be part of the process so that there's going to be a very good sustainability plan, and the young people are the sustainability plan. So we engage policymakers, we engage young people across the agricultural value chain, and we tell them to understand that the food system challenge is everyone's challenge. It doesn't mean you don't have to be a farmer, you don't have to be to actually get involved in food system, because when it comes to food, it's a culture and it is actually what brings every one of us together. And you would not say because you're not a farmer, you're not interested, whether you're an accountant, you're a scientist, or anything. This is what brings us together. And this is part of the reason why we're actually calling for a revolution, because as young people, we need to really be involved. We could actually see that the leaders are not willing to incorporate young people. I don't know how it relates to different people in different countries, but for us in Nigeria, it's actually a bit tough because they feel that they see young people as threats, and that is why we're actually, coming together to actually pull a force as young people globally to see how if it's not working in Nigeria, it can work in another country, and they can use it as a template to make it work in Nigeria. And that is part of the reason why we're having this session today, Youth Center, Youth at the Center of the Food Revolution, where we're actually seeing how young people can really get involved strategically to help transform the food systems. Maggie, would you like to? So we have four sticker notes on the wall. So maybe in 1 or 2 minutes, is it possible for us to check? We have 10 actions for change. So talking about the Acts for Food, Acts for Change campaign, the actions for food, it's just within young people where we actually call young people to actually take a pledge to do a lot of things that will help transform our food system, reduction in junks, doing a lot of things that is healthy for us to actually live sustainably. And the actions for change is just calling our leaders to actually take the actions to be true to their promises and see how they can actually include young people in food system transformation. So I think we have over 150,000 pledges worldwide, and we have some votes too. And December last year, we were able to we add 17 actions for change, and we're able to streamline to 10 global actions for change. And this is what we're actually flying with to implement, talking about transforming the food systems. So today we are focusing on four actions for change. Action for change 1, 4, 7, and change 1, 2, 4, and 8. So we'll be breaking out into a session where we actually have some time to actually discuss the problem and solutions that is pertaining to these four actions for change we've actually highlighted. And if you would want to share more on that, Maggie?
So the actions are really great because they were completely created by young people who started up Act4Food, Act for Change. And as we had people take the pledge around the globe, which was, as Aziz said, now it's over 160,000 people have taken it. We've whittled it down to 10 actions from 17, what we originally started with, to 10. And so it's what people feel the most strongly about. And they voted on those mainly on their own local context. So it's great. It's been a sort of like self-selecting from youth what is actually important to us, what's on our agenda. And we selected 4 today, but maybe we can do like 3 because we're a bit of a smaller group. But yeah, we can read them off and then people can sort of decide where they would like to go with them. Yeah, we can.
And so before Maggie actually gets us on that, I would like to ask one or two persons to actually share. Like, is it possible to actually have youth at the center of food systems revolution? Is it possible? Yes or no? If it's possible, what do you think could be done? Because we are all looking at achieving these SDGs by 2030, and it's just like 8 years to go, and a lot of things need to be done. And what we are saying as young people is that there's no little action. All action counts, and we need to work together as critical stakeholders. We need to make our leaders understand that we need to work together. We understand that, yes, intergenerational approach is allowed, but then we are willing to learn from them. Are they willing to incorporate us in this transformation of food systems together? So does anyone have answer to that? Is it possible? If it's possible, what do you think? And if it's not possible, why do you say it's not possible? Anyone?
I do really think that it's possible as young people within the number of years that are remaining for us to reach the sustainable development goals. And I say so because, like you mentioned, that no amount of like action or effort is little, so long it's done in a coordinated manner, it will all amount up to something big. And so even if we begin to start doing certain activities today, eventually, if you give it 2 years, 2 months, the following day, it is all building up into something that will amount to, you know, the food systems transformation, or the type of future that we want to see in terms of the foods that we're eating, how we're producing it, how we're consuming it. And at the end of the day, if we carry it all together as a coordinated group of youths that want to see the change that we want to see, eventually we will make that change that we want to see.
Do we all agree? Yeah, so it has to take a collective responsibility to achieve a common purpose, and young people are willing to lead that. And I think strategically we are going to get there. Thank you, Maggie.
Sweet. So I'll read off the 4 that we have here today and think about which one you would like to work on, thinking about the problems and the solutions for the rest of the workshop. So our action number 8 is to create employment for young farmers and agri-entrepreneurs. Our first action is everyone should be able to afford healthy and nutritious food. That'd be great. Thank you. And then action 2 is to back sustainable farming and regenerate our soils and reduce damaging chemicals. So all about sustainable farming. And I think we'll just do those 3 for today since we have a smaller crowd. Okay. Or you want this one too?
Yeah, it's okay. So we can start with 3.
Yeah, so I don't know which ones everyone feels strongest about, but you can sort of go in that direction. Try and even yourselves out, like number-wise.
Yeah. Well, I think the most interesting thing is that we are all connected one way or the other to food systems transformation, and these actions for change are talking about food system transformation in their own way. So, is it possible for us to just pick numbers 1, 2, 3? Then if you are number one, you can go to this, number two, this, number three, this to make it faster. Because everything is talking about food systems transformation, how we can actually talk about the problem and the solutions to it. So without wasting much of our time, one, two, three, one, two, three, one, two, three, one, two, three. Yeah, so if you are one, please go this way. If you are two, go that way. Then if you are three, let's do this. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, please outside. We are
Yeah,
going to
we
use
can
the.
break outside.
There's a
But so
break. There's a table we can actually use outside, and so we have 10 minutes, 15 minutes to do this. Problems, solution. 15 minutes. Yeah, yeah. Cool.
it's fine.
For I think it's mute. Hello, so for our participant online, we are currently having a breakout session where we are going to identify or highlight the solutions and the problems to some of the actions for change we actually highlighted. We've highlighted actions for change one, actions for change two, and actions for change eight. So, of course, we'll be having the breakout session for like 10 minutes. And after the breakout section, we are going to come back and each of them are going to present the problems and the solutions to the actions for change that has been highlighted. Please stay with us as we'll be right back. Thank you. All right. Welcome back from the breakout session. Yeah, welcome back from the breakout session. So, can we have presenter from group one? Can we have the presenter from group one, please? Who is presenting you? Yeah. Action for change one. So you can just hold for. All right. Please, can we come in, please? You can sit down. We call the group two. All right. Actions for change one, please. Please go ahead. Sophie. So I would just we'll take the one, two, do some wrap up. Are you the one presenting for them? No. Oh, that's fine. That's why you can't. No problem.
I hope this isn't online. Okay, basically, loads of our problems were tax, price, knowledge, access, and labeling. Do you want to talk about solutions or will I keep going? Oh, okay, great. Okay, I can go on to solutions. Free or subsidized school meals is a fantastic way to access young people from such a young age, but also it's for them to have healthy and nutritious food, not just be given anything, and it almost be in the curriculum that it's a way they're taught about food. Also, less calories, less focus on calories and more about the overall nutrition, not just 1,800 calories in one dinner, instead of telling you how much protein or how much fats or salts are in it. Also, incentivize more local food distribution with farmers markets and with supermarkets. And food education is a huge one. Again, if you're thought about it holistically, the whole food system, not just about what is good and what is bad food. To know where your food has come from is very, very important. And labeling. Again, labeling what nutritious food is. Someone gave an example of in Mexico, they have like different kind of stickers on food for if they're like really high in salt or if they're really high in sugar. That is an incentive for companies to change the recipes to then have less sugar or salt or whatever it is. So yeah, I think that's us.
Thank you. Actions for change two, please. Can we have you?
No, you're good. You're good. Okay, we'll run through the next two kind of fast because we have to boogie real soon out of here. Our spokesperson had to go to another group, so I'm going to fill in for him. We had action 2, how to back sustainable farming to regenerate our soils and decrease the amount of damaging chemicals that are within our agricultural system. So the problems that we identified were money as the big one. Then we have goodwill, which I think is also true. Hard to relay new info and knowledge. It's really hard to pass the information that's needed to the right people and to make it accessible. Then we have inaccessibility, smallholder advocacy. This is a super important one. Land access and equity. So many people that want to be farming that know how to do it don't have access to land. This is a huge problem. We have lack of policies to support regenerative agriculture. We see it more and more popping up, but it needs to be much stronger than it currently is. Lack of incentives to motivate the adaptation of regenerative agriculture. it's really hard to convince people who have been doing something one way to switch everything that they know to something else. So there has to be proper education around that. And for solutions, we have knowledge, the transfer of it, money in the right places, some more education, and just policies that are really supportive of local context in their agriculture. They can't be a really broadband situation for a large space. It has to be very context specific to where they are being placed. Yeah, sorry, that was fast.
Yeah, actions for change 8. Can we have you quickly? Who is presenting?
I will speak on camera. All right. Okay, so for problems, we identified first one as the intergenerational gaps of access to land, and as a solution to that, just the enhanced access, for instance, through a public auction. So the government would just do this auction to increase the access, especially, for instance, to underrepresented people. And then another problem can be a lack of strong policies that basically hinder the participation of women, so that are gender unequal participation to farm and to farming. And as a solution, one can say to create a platform where basically to engage people, to engage young people into the decision making and policy making. And to conclude, basically a low wage and uncertainty of this field, which can be tackled by, for instance, attracting young people and creating those kind of insurance for farming and agriculture, with low interest rate, for instance. And that's all.
Awesome. Yeah, thank you so much, everyone, for taking time out to actually treat these actions for change. And I think going forward, it will be very strategic for us to see how we can actually work together, specifically on these 3 actions for change, because they're actually critical and to the transformation of our food systems. And if you don't mind, we would like to take it forward with you guys to actually see, because like I said the other time, we are looking at implementing some of these actions for change, and now we have 3 of them. And if you would like to follow up with us and on this journey in implementing some of these actions for change that we've actually worked on today, please kindly meet with Sophie to actually drop your contacts, and we'll surely follow up with you on this, because we need to work together to actually transform our food systems. Maggie.
So the really encouraging thing about a lot of this is that these solutions are already being implemented by young people from around the world with their own willpower and direction and energy. And so we can go forward and do the same. We hope you didn't get too bogged down in the problems, because there are solutions. We just have to tap into them and stay strong in that. But thank you all for coming. It was great to have mainly young people here and to do something a bit interactive. We hope it was a little bit more fun and chaotic than the other things you may have been to. And if you have any questions, definitely feel free to let us know. But thanks so much.
Yeah, and to wrap up, I want us to understand that we are not waiting for any revolution. The revolution is actually here, and we as young people need to take charge, work collectively together to achieve a common purpose. Thank you so much for joining us, and we look forward to more engagements. Drop your contact.